I'm going to show you several ways to get to fire exit from the outside without using any items. The less weight you have on you, the easier it'll be because you'll have more stamina, you'll move faster, and you can jump further. But you can do many of these with a decent amount of weight on you if you need to. Some of these I recorded a while back, but they should all work on Lethal Company version 47. There's a lot of ways to do it, but I'm going to show you 5 main areas to get up. I took this map from the Lethal Company wiki. The quickest and easiest way is to jump off the ship as it's descending onto the pipeline. You'll want to immediately head out the door and get on the railing. Depending on your weight, it's possible to do the jump without the railing, but the extra height does help. You want to sprint jump, and you want to do it quite late. Once you're on the pipe, just sprint over to the water tower and jump over to the fire exit. It's a lot less lenient if you have 25 pounds or more on you, but you can still do it. If you fail the ship descent jump or need to get to the fire exit in the middle of the day, luckily there's other ways to do it. The next easiest way is to use this rock right here. It's by the pipeline and the closer water tower to the fire exit. Credit to Pocket Ice Cream for this one. You want to find this corner over here by the second water tower that has all of these jaggies on it. And then you want to jump on the left side and then go right 3 times. Should end up on this jaggy. This is an important point right here. And jump up a little bit more to make sure you're at like max height. Then you want to align yourself roughly with the pipeline and sprint jump forward, hold WD. You should right up the side, mash space. You want to make sure you have like full stamina before you start doing that. Then you just sprint jump onto the rock and the water tower, and you're there. This is less likely to be an issue now that the shovel weighs half of what it used to, but if you're bringing decent weight in, this technique does become a lot harder. You can still do it the same way, but I prefer to do sprinting in place jumps, similar to what you might do on Dying instead. So the start's the same, but once you're at that high, jaggy rock point where you can't gain any more height, one thing you can do is you can align your time of day, your clock, onto the rock vertices, just like this, and then sprint jump in place 1 or 2 times. You can also go a little bit right, and you might get a little bit more height, but there's higher risk of slipping there. Sometimes you might be able to do it in 1 jump. Another technique you can use is to start from the side instead of the corner, and then spam jump while riding the side of the rock to the jaggy corner. Credit to CNum more for this one. If you don't make the jump on top of the rock but slide down to the pipe, you can walk over to the water tower. Be careful with these next steps because it's easy to get pushed out by the geometry. I find it best to back off the first edge a little bit and then carefully jump onto it, and then jump in place without pressing any directions. After a short delay, hold in, you should end up on the next edge. Then you just need to crouch, walk under the railing, uncrouch, and jump onto the pipe. As a side note, you can use this same technique on the other side of the pipe. Due to the possibility of random terrain, enemies, or weather impeding you, it's good to know about other jump locations. On the same rock, there's an alternative strategy from the other side. Credit to Real Mim for this one. Go over to the side by the pipeline. Jump onto the side, and then jump up while going around the corner. You get stuck on the pipe, crouch under it, and walk forward. Go all the way around until you get to the jaggies. Jump up on these until you get enough height. Then you want to sprint and jump, and you can either jump onto the pipe, or you can just fall down. Essentially, just ride the side down to the lower side of the pipe, and then do the backup strategy from there. If you end up on the other side of the rock on the lower pipe, there's a jump I found to get past it. Just back up from the rock a bit, and then angle your clock, like so, using the rails as a guide. Then you just sprint jump. You can then proceed through the backup strat. There's another rock you can easily use that I found close to the second water tower. You just need to go to the side of the rock. You can jump up it. And then if you want to regain stamina, you can just drop down on the cliff side. And then you just jump up on the side again, right around here. Find a spot where you can sprint in place. And then just sprint jump up. Then from there, you want to drop down onto this little ledge. And then sprint jump onto the water tower. And go over to the other water tower. Another place you can use are these pipeline supports. These beams here. And really, you want to use one of these two. This one I don't recommend using. And you want to use, ideally, the sides on the rock, not on the fire exit side. So I recommend if you can, try to use this one, the one closest to fire exit. And what you want to do is you want to just jump up on this right here, and then you want to crouch walk up, and you want to kind of go along the side. You're going to want to find a place to uncrouch. So if you want a visual guide, try to get your camera like relatively level with the ground, you know, assuming the ground is flat here. And then use your item slots here and just kind of like roughly line them up so that it matches that that line, that edge over there. And uncrouch, and what you want to do, you want to jump in place holding no directions, and then after a little delay, you want to hold in. You should end up on top. And that's pretty imprecise. You can be lower and it'll still work. So then you just want to sprint jump over here and jump onto the next one, do the exact same thing. Then you should be on the highest support beam that you can get to. So now you just want to jump on this pipe right here, crouch, go a little away. You can fit under, and then you can just sprint along the pipe and do that jump I showed earlier. You can also use this pipeline support. It's a little harder, but it's not that bad. You want to go on this side again, the rock side, not the fire exit side. So jump up on this leaning support beam and do the same tech I showed you earlier. Now on this part, you want to be careful because this pipe is pretty low and you can easily bonk your head and fall preemptively. So I recommend going over to this side and then just do your sprint jump. Jump up here. Do the same technique as earlier. And here all you have to do is just crouch walk onto it. And here you're going to want to get a little away from the pipe. And just do the same thing as earlier. In case you were curious, you can use the other side of these pipeline supports, the fire exit side, if you really want to. It's just a lot harder. So you just go up the support beams just like normal. But once you get to the top, you can't jump onto the pipeline directly. You can't crouch walk onto it either. What you have to do on this first support beam, the one closest to fire exit, is you just kind of go as close to the edge as possible on this corner, and then you just like jump around and go on the pipeline. You can also do the fire exit side of the second pipeline, but it's even harder than the first one. So you just go up like normal, and then you do a trick jump to get onto the scaffolding of the neighboring support beam. Then you have to do its trick jump to get on the pipeline. The final support beam, the one furthest from the fire exit, I recommend not even trying to use it. It's easy to get up the support beam, but the problem is that the pipeline is just in an awkward location, and I haven't found any way to get on top of it from here, and I've tried all kinds of different things. You can even get stuck over here, so I recommend just not even trying it. You can also use the mountains on the perimeter of offense, as well as the out of bounds to get to the fire exit. There's several different ways to do it. You can practically walk out of bounds in offense, and there's a pretty good hill you can use. But the problem is that a lot of these strats just take a long time. So I'm going to show one main location you can use. So once the ship lands, you can go to this corner over here. And you're going to want to regain your stamina. You're going to want to do some jumps to make sure you're at max height. And you're going to want to do like a double sprint in place jump, similar to dying, similar to the high weight strat I showed earlier. So once you get up here, you want to jump, make sure you have some good height. You kind of get stuck in this corner a bit, but you can go out, jump up, again, regain your stamina. And you're going to want to try to kind of jump to get yourself a wedge here against the rock and the hill. And then you can sprint jump forward and fall down the side. So once you're out of bounds, you can just sprint and you just go up this big rock here. Then you just jump onto this rock, regain your stamina. And all you need to do is essentially just sprint jump into this wall and then hug the wall. You don't have to try to do this sprint jump that I did. I was just kind of messing around. But you just want to hug the wall. And if you're sprinting, you get a lot more distance out of it. So try to keep your stamina. So regain your stamina again. And you're going to want to do the same thing against the next wall to get onto that next ledge over there. Once you're on this ledge, just sprint jump on the pipe, proceed as normal. As a bonus, you can also improvise using the randomly generated terrain to your advantage. So here's an example of me jumping off a pretty well-placed random pumpkin. I also, in the course of recording this, I got a really, really bad rock spawn that was on the pipeline, it was on the water tower, it was covering most of fire exit. It would have blocked probably every way I've seen other people get to fire exit itemless. But I was able to use two of the new jumps that I found to get around it. And also I was able to improvise a jump from the other water tower onto this rock and then jump up against it to get to fire exit that way.